Hi everyone! Today I am going to introduce you to a special guest I met personally in Ireland, Julia Balaz. So Julia, you are quantum healing practitioner and you run a practice with your husband, Marek, in Ireland, in beautiful, beautiful County Wicklow in Ochrim. It's County Wicklow, for those who don't know, it's considered like as the gardens of Ireland. It is like Lord of the Rings settings. It's absolutely beautiful. If you've heard about Glendalough and such places, it's where she lives. So hi Julia, how are you?
Hi, Elena. I'm really great. Thank you so much for inviting me for this interview. I'm very excited.
And me also, because the subject you're gonna be, wow, just wait for it. So Julia and I met, believe it or not, physically on the hill of Tara for the summer solstice last June, not so long ago. And Julia came to me. She was with her family and she said, "Oh, I recognize you, I follow you." And we just hugged each other and that was it. And now we are here and sharing with you what Julia has to tell you. That's going to be amazing. That's going to be amazing. So you are the first person to tell me about galactic astrology and galactic astrology. So that blew my mind. So I'm going to let you explain what it is and tell us everything about it. And I think you have a surprise for me, but I'm not sure. Let's go.
Thank you so much. So as Elena have mentioned, I am a QHHT practitioner. I do this full time for the last 6 years. 2 years later, I studied soul realignment modality, which is reading soul records, Akashic records. So first of all, 50% of my clients are clients who want to go within themselves and find information about their soul history. And then I had other group of clients who are not so comfortable with that, maybe more left brain, analytical, logical focused. And they were happy enough for me to tune in for them and bring forward the most relevant information for their growth and healing. And sometimes, sometime into my practice, I started attracting more and more clients who had strong connections to extraterrestrial races. And sometimes, especially in QHHT sessions, clients would connect with beings that they would recognize from following some of the information either as Pleiadians or Sirians or Arcturians. And around that time, I already started researching and studying my clients' astrological charts. And the main motivation for me was looking for proof that the higher self guidance in the sessions is true or valid, especially with regards to life purpose, what they're meant to do going forward. There, I have this, I'm very intuitive, but I'm also very analytical, and kind of the researcher in me was curious to find proof, valid proof that we are not just imagining things and, following the wishful thinking. And indeed, I started finding a lot of validation to what the higher selves were guiding my clients to do or to follow. And then when I started attracting these clients who, even some of them experienced the abductions and, had stories that are just mind-blowing, I was curious to find some validation also in their charts to those stories. And I indeed found just mind-blowing validations. So once I realized that we can locate different star systems astrologically based on zodiac signs, degrees, and minutes. It's like a massive light bulb exploded, lit up, and I realized I can start looking for those specific star systems like Pleiades or Sirius or Arcturus in the chart. And through synchronicities, I started noticing that clients who would have had strong connection with, for example, Pleiades, I would find Pleiades in their chart. And what was really interesting, I think the most amazing synchronicity when I kind of started realizing this was that clients who would have alignment with Pleiades constellation, they would book their session actually specifically on a Pleiadian alignment where the Pleiades were conjunct with our sun and earth. So the connection to their Pleiadian soul family, and they were able to channel the information, and just awesome information was coming through. And then equally, you know, Syrian clients would seem to come on Syrian alignments and so on. So you know, I have so many stories like this that over the years of me studying hundreds and hundreds of clients' charts, you know, endless hours of work, but when you're driven by passion, time doesn't matter, right? But just so many validations for me to trust that what I have discovered is real. It's not just, you know, again, wishful thinking. So that's a little bit from the background.
Wow, that is absolutely extraordinary. So a client who come to see you for QAHT session and quantum hypnosis session, and parallel to that, you would study their astrology chart,
usually after their session. So once I know all about their life story from my own research, I ask every single client for many, many years to get their birth details. And they know it's for that purpose, that I am just researching something. So I have hundreds of these. So after the session, I take time to look for these things and then find them. Yeah.
So how would it work that, if I understand, maybe I'm wrong, but that the way I understand it is that, so if, for instance, you're a Pleiadian soul, you would come to incarnate on Earth in a body, Earth body, at a right moment where, for instance, your star system, in the Pleiades, is aligned, especially with
Sun and Earth. Yeah.
With Sun and Earth. Okay. So
yes,
that would...
from our perspective, from the Earth perspective. So it's like a quantum entanglement. Although these star systems can be far and near, it's a quantum entanglement, I believe, of soul and the soul of the planet. You know, it's everything is interconnected. So you are born at the very precise time when either Sun or Moon or any of the planets are in conjunct or opposite alignment with the star system that your soul is connected to. So it doesn't just have to be the Sun. It can also be the Moon at a time of your birth being in conjunct alignment. It could also be, you know, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, and so on. So there are quite many windows of opportunity for the soul to come. Does that answer your question?
Yes, that is absolutely fantastic, and it's just mind-opening, because so you call it a quantum entanglement. That's exactly how I understand it. So it creates like a kind of channel, but not, you know, by linear, like quantum, like boom, boom. Yeah, and it's like, yeah, it's like a channel, like a
portal of
portal
for travel or for connection. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So so you can absolutely tell if during a hypnosis session, quantum hypnosis session, the being who speaks to the person is really genuine, because I know there's a lot of influence of AI hijacking hypnosis sessions at the moment to pass doom and gloom messages and things like that. And if the practitioner is not aware of that, or not protected, or doesn't double check, it can be really confusing for this message to get out. But that's not happening with you, because you just double check it with the astrology, and that's
such a great point. I did have a client, few, not many, who would have explored this topic a lot, especially maybe reading Dolores Cannon's book. I would get a lot of Dolores Cannon's fans, and they would choose to believe that they are strongly connected to Pleiades. And then when I checked their chart, there was not a single planet aligned to it. But they were aligned either to Arcturus or something else, but just not in particular Pleiades. You know, many people seem to connect to Pleiades on some level, but then when I checked, you know, it wasn't really the case. So then they rediverted their focus on this other star rays and actually discovered, actually, the description of this energetic suits me much more than the Pleiades as I thought. So yeah, that happened too.
Yeah, so then that as well, you can just spot the person being hijacked or just their imagination taking over or something like that, and you can redirect to really purely into hypnosis, to the right path. That is great. I have a question. It's because not all souls, I believe, but that's me, I believe not all souls incarnated on Earth are from somewhere else. I believe some are just from the Earth matrix. Would you be would you agree with that, or maybe not?
Yeah, I'm a little bit biased because I have a certain point of attraction. So I keep getting star seeds and really like high caliber soul, I like to call them, or people who really are deeply passionate about service to humanity, and they become activated when they come to me, and they really then start, you know, supporting the evolution of consciousness. But I did come across few who felt like earth souls, and there was just no conjunct alignment or opposite. They would have you know, trines, sextiles, squares, they're all different astrological aspects, but no conjunct alignment. In my experience, very few, maybe a handful. But I'm sure you know, there is plenty of those as well. Yeah.
Yes, and I think by essence, people will come and ask for your service if they feel already they belong to somewhere else. If they don't, they won't feel they need to know anything, you know. So you must be, yes, that makes sense. That makes really sense. So, well, you told me, I'm very curious because you told me that you had a look into my theme, and I want to I don't know anything about it. You just told me before we recorded this that you just studied it, and it was mind-blowing. So I'm very excited, and I want to share with the public who knows me a little bit, who know my connection, what you found out about me, and that I want to share that publicly as an example of what you do and how you work. So let's go.
Before I reveal that, I want to explain that, you know, I've seen many hundreds of these charts, and it's a very complex information that I look at, because, you know, astrology on its own is quite complex topic, because you're looking at so many different elements, it's very complex. But to me, the astrological chart, the information that you can see based on your exact time of birth, location, day, to me, it's like a quantum technology informational database of your soul history, present, and future. And what I find that every time I understand certain element of astrology, another window or another door opens, and it's like you go deeper into another layer of quantum field of information. And it's like that with the galactic astrology. So I started uncovering further and further deeper revelations of just, again, mind-blowing information, where, you know, we can really access so much, not just about our current life theme, but also about our past lives on Earth, but also about our past lives, or, you know, there is not really past, present, and future. We say parallel lives in other star systems, including the type of energetics you were most likely embodying there, personality, your passions, gifts, and all these things. I believe I kind of cracked the codes, and I can tell how to tell all these things, you know. So because my waiting list is 2-3 months long, and it's getting longer and longer, I created an online course where I teach people how to do this. It's quite comprehensive course. It takes about 20 hours of like going through the information. So if you do it part-time, it'll take you maybe 2 weeks, maybe a month. But I teach this so people can access it right away. They don't have to wait for me. And I would love for, you know, more people to have access to this. So when I looked at your chart, Elena, there are certain planets that I believe point to our very distant soul history, like the origins, the very beginnings of our soul's journey. Then there are some planets that tell us about kind of in between, and then there are certain elements that tell us like this is the most recent soul connection from other star systems, or most, you know, strongest identity that you come with into this lifetime. So in your chart, first of all, you're clearly a multi-galactic soul, very ancient. And I was so excited to find validation to many of the strong soul family connections that you talk about in your book. So I'm excited to reveal that to you. Your Pluto, based on your time of birth, at the time of your birth, your Pluto was aligned with Alnilam star and the Mesa star in the Orion constellation. And based on your story, your alien father or your alien DNA, as you are an abductee, is from Anax, who is of Egaroth race, from Alnilam Mesa in the Orion constellation. And this is a very tight alignment for you. It's within 32 minutes. So it's like very precise at the time of your birth, you know, indicating your most ancient star connection or star race connection. It's right there. Okay. Wow. And equally, then you also talked about your connection to Pleiades, which I believe is your most recent and most strongest galactic identity. And indeed, your sun at the time of your birth was very, very tight conjunction to Pleiades, to Taygeta, within 0.09 minutes. Like, it's very precise. Like, it's unbelievable how precise that is. So it's right there. You have both these, like, this is your beginning, this is your most recent, and they come together. Isn't that amazing?
Oh my God, I'm nearly crying. Oh
there is more. Yeah.
That's because there is more. Oh my God.
Yeah, there is more. And this is the effect people have when they receive a validation for something that they knew inside for a long time. Is like finally they can release their doubts and they just align with who they really came here to be, and nothing stops them then. So I'm happy you can feel it in your body as well.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Yeah, my body's responding. It's absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your body knows. Okay. With regards to Pleiades, few of your there are several other connections, positive connections. So also your ascendant, the part of your personality that you show to the world, or that you're meant to, how you connect with the world, is sextile to Pleiades. Again, it's very tight, within 1 degree, 0.47 minutes. So sextiles and trines aspects with star systems tell us about very positive connections. The collective consciousness or certain souls from that star race are actually supporting our life path in some positive way. So your ascendant is sextile to Pleiades, your Uranus is trine to Pleiades, they are, your Uranus is in 3rd house in Virgo, and you have quite strong theme with 3rd house and Virgo, because also your south node is in 3rd house in Virgo. So what that means is that you are meant to be the teacher of some expanded consciousness and practical, offering practical knowledge and wisdom. You have this archetype of Virgo Pisces, which is Pisces universal wisdom, and Virgo very practical or grounded on earth. And the ninth house, third house polarity of student teacher, or the mentor that supports evolution of consciousness. So Pleiades is supporting this for you in this lifetime. That's why you feel so strongly connected to that.
Wow, I'm
Okay.
totally.
Now, there is quite a bit more. May I continue?
Oh, please, no, please, please.
Yeah. So in your book, you mentioned Myra from Sirius, right? From Ashkeru Tal.
Yes.
And so she's your very strong, positive soul connection that supports your path. And your Venus, which is aligned, which is actually in your 10th house, house of public service, and your galactic soul mission, I believe, is sextile to Sirius within 0.22 minutes. Again, very tight, positive influence. So, whenever I find these sextiles or trines, there's always some connection to some of these beings that come through in persons' lives at one point or another. So it's just nice validation that it's meant to be there. And also you have a conjunct Sirius in your Lilith, the black moon, in 12th house in Cancer, which means you were destined to support not underdogs, what would be another word? People who are like abductees, and the deep mystery of humans. What would be another way to say it? People who are not spoken about so much, and it needs to come out, and the healing needs to happen there. So this is what this Ashkeru people, Tal people, that consciousness is strongly sending energy through you to support this collective healing of these abductees. Does that make sense?
Oh my God, yes, for two reasons. When you spoke about Venus, I've got to meet Valthor from Venus 3 times, and I've got to go. I went to Venus twice. I mean, I'm going to talk about that soon.
It's one of your strongest planets, actually. The energy of that is one of your strongest. So that's
oh my
amazing.
God. The first time I went, oh my God, the first time I went to Venus, I didn't want to leave. I just didn't want to leave. And Thorhan told me, you can't stay. I know I can't stay, but I don't want to leave either. I was feeling like, not like home, but so comfortable. Like the energy was suiting me so much. I would have lived there. I would have stayed there and lived for the rest of my life. I was feeling so well, so in tune there. And then you mentioned about giving the abductees a voice and helping them. And you couldn't find a word. And a word in my head was the people who have been abused. Would it make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Because
hidden, and you're bringing that out.
Yes, but because maybe, I don't know if you know that about my life. I don't speak a lot about it. I've been abused myself, but I know I have chosen to experience this. I was married to a French man who abused me physically, verbally, like a narcissistic, the typical thing. And I went to hospitals many times, but I got through it and I woke up from it and I got out of it. I divorced and I rebuilt my life. And now I know how you got caught to it. How does it feel to be in it with everything it involves? And how can you do to get out of this? And how do you rebuild your life? I've experienced this. Now I can teach it to people and I can help people who are abused to so my God, that makes sense. Amazing.
It's right there for you. Now, there is also a connection to Lyra. You have several indicators of Lyra DNA, and I see that a lot. So whenever I come across a Pleiadian soul or others who I know from your book and others, are genetically connected to Lyra, the Lyra would also show there, but not necessarily as conjunct or opposite connection, but these trines, sextiles, or squares, where in the case of squares or opposites, there is usually some trauma that the person is actually helping to resolve and dissolve in this incarnation. So you can tell so much about, you know, we think sometimes that our issues are insignificant, it's just me suffering in silence, but actually what you are going through, and anyone listening, when you are healing it within yourself and raising to a higher understanding of what happened, you are actually helping to resolve and dissolve traumas that are ancient, that started in Lyra, or in other star systems, you know, with regards to Lyra and Sikaar conflict. So we all make a difference.
Yes, that is so interesting. So that, yeah, that means that I carry also trauma from, you think it is linked to a life incarnation there in Lyra, or do I carry that throughout the Pleiadian genetics who are cloning from Lyra?
I believe more so that, because your most ancient soul history is actually linked to Egaroth, you know, so this Lyran link comes through Pleiades, through your Pleiadian genetics. Okay. Now, there is such a thing as in astrology as South and North Node, our life path, our theme of consciousness that we, you know, it's kind of like the polarity of certain archetype of consciousness that we carry and embody and, you know, work through all the frequencies of that, the light and the shadow. And for you, your life path is aligned with Procyon or Procyon. How do you pronounce it?
Procyon.
Procyon. In sextile and trine alignment, very close, 0.11 minutes. And I believe it's the Eldaru connection, the Eldaru race who realized or who learned how to switch density, how to raise consciousness to become invisible to the Sikaar beings. So I believe you have also, somehow you can stream that, and it actually comes through so much of your work. You support evolution of consciousness, and you keep telling people to keep raising their frequency so that we can eventually get there, you know?
Oh my God. Speechless.
So you might ask about that, perhaps through the Galactic Federation of Worlds, somehow your mission actually, maybe this is something that might be revealed to you as a soul connection at some point.
Yeah.
So okay, there is more. Can I continue?
Please.
I see a lot with souls or clients who come to me who have this deep drive to do something major and to talk and teach evolution of consciousness. They all have strong alignments to Aldebaran and Antares. They're almost like the same zodiac degree or opposing zodiac degrees. So it almost looks like a Stargate from one side of the galaxy to the other. And especially those that have strong connection to, yeah, for some it's more Antares, for some it's more Aldebaran. But in your book, the Antares, there are some darker races, service to self races, but I believe that there is some very highly evolved consciousness as well. Do you remember, is there a race that is highly evolved? I think there is one. I forgot to check.
In Antares?
Yeah.
I know in Aldebaran there's a very highly evolved race.
Okay, so perhaps it's Aldebaran because it's always it's one or the other, you know, they're conjunct and opposite each other. So you have that connection also in your chart, and very particularly with your MC, the midheaven, the public, you know, image and your service to humanity.
I can
is in alignment with it. Mm-hmm.
Antares, there is the Andorians, a very highly evolved race. So you were right.
So whenever I have people who have conjunct Antares, and including myself, my Uranus and Jupiter are, I found that they almost work like a Stargate for other people. It's easier, you know, so when you have someone coming to your proximity, if you have conjunct Antares, it's easier for these people to access higher levels of consciousness. It's easier for them to go into deep meditative states. these Antarian starseeds that they often become healing practitioners, or public, influencers through social media, supporting evolution of consciousness, and you have that connection with you too. So again, it's almost as if these beings, these highly evolved races, they are passionate about supporting evolution of consciousness in the Milky Way galaxy. So they somehow find a way to connect through us and bring higher consciousness through our bodies, which can act like portals, right? So I always find it as an amazing validation that you can bring high frequencies just through you, just you talking to us through camera. People actually are vibrating higher as a result of that.
I know,
I find
right?
it amazing.
People say that, I go, how is that possible? Kind of. Wow.
It's these star connections. Somehow, the universe is so genius, like it's beyond intelligent, and it's mathematic, and it's
Yes.
geometrical, and astrology is like that too. So these are just validation that we are so much more than we think we are.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so I was talking about all these positive connections, and I'm also, of course, also curious about the Orion connection, the Sikar, and usually when there are abductees, there are square alignments to Orion, and in particular for you, your south north node, your life path and your life mission on Earth is squaring Orion Nebula, the home for, that was hijacked, these star systems by Sikar, as you write in your book. And so your life path is, the word is irreconcilability. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. It's not my first language, but you cause tension for them. When you follow your path, you actually expose them, and you help. It's almost like working against them, but we promote healing and raising beyond the conflict and fighting fire with fire. We follow the Eldaru teachings of raising consciousness, right, and leave them behind. Yeah, so that's square Orion Nebula, your life path.
That's something.
And
yeah.
There's one more, Thuban in Draco, your Mercury, which is in 11th house in Gemini. 11th house is a house of you reaching to wide global audience, communicating the Gemini archetype. That's square Thuban and conjunct Aldebaran. So it means, again, your mission is to work against the Draco and in alignment with higher consciousness. It's just fascinating, isn't it?
Oh my God, I have comments on that. That in Aldebaran, there is a colony of Anunnaki that works with the Dark Fleet, and I am working also at exposing them. So that's something as well.
Yeah, that I was wondering about that too, the connection to Anunnaki. So that the Aldebaran could be either that or the higher race.
And you know that the Andromedan the Zene had foreseen galactic tyranny in the future that were run by the triangle alliance of the Sikar Thuban, Orion Nebula, and Aldebaran Anunnaki Dark Fleet, because the headquarters of the Dark Fleet are at the moment in Aldebaran. So you see these three together. That's could I say it is my path mission? Would you say that?
Yes, 100%. So the Zene is also in your chart. Your moon is trine to Zene, again very tightly, 0.43 minutes. The Titavin star in Andromeda.
Titavin, yes.
You have several Andromedan positive connections. So in particular, what you just said. And squaring Aldebaran moon at 0.31. So it's like they work against that through you.
That is fascinating. And I'm going to tell you something that people don't know, but it's a revelation video. You know, I am very, very good friend with Alex Collier, who is an Andromedan contactee and an Andromedan soul. We always felt since the start a strong connection, him and I, like if we knew each other, and we did. We discovered that we fought side by side in the Orion Wars against the Orion Empire. And just I want to bring up this connection to confirm what you said. Amazing.
I could, if I'm actually going to contact Alex, and I can't wait to have a look at his chart to validate Andromeda for him too. And I will most likely be able to find the actual alignments that will validate that, yeah, you are here and you are here too. Because you have few more Orion connections, some to Betelgeuse and some to Bellatrix. So it seems that you had a lot of missions through Galactic Federation of Worlds, world in Orion constellation. I have no doubt about that. Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. Oh, amazing, amazing.
So yeah, like that, when I do reading for couples or for family members, we would find out where, you know, that actually they know each other from a really long time, that their planets like Pluto, Neptune, Uranus are connected to same star systems. Or if you have a family where everyone seems to get along, and then there's this one person that is just odd, you know, if I look at their star connections, that odd person will have no star system connections to those as the rest of the family. So it's like the black sheep. And usually that would be either Orion or Draco. So, you know, especially if it's like a dark soul or like the troublemaker all the time or the narcissist, I would actually see that many of them are Draco and Orion souls. So it's just incredible.
There's something that just thinking that just raises from all of this. I understand that when you decide as a purpose, as a mission, to fight a certain enemy, you create a quantum bond with this enemy, and you are linked to this enemy, and you resonate with him, and you're going to go play hide and seek with each other, and that's like an elastic band.
For sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you will most likely karmically meet people whose souls are linked to that star system, to that enemy, we could say, and they will play out the archetypal themes in the relationship that will open wounds or somehow remind you of, okay, I came here to heal this or to work on this and then teach about this, because there are millions who suffer the same theme in a relationship, you know, of the victim and you know, abuse of power and all these things. So that's how it works, you know. And again, we think that it's so insignificant issues in our relationships, that it's just me and no one knows about it, but actually you are influencing the whole collective. And especially if you allow yourself to see it from higher perspective, reclaim your power, honor the truth, and just liberate yourself. And it's like you start breaking the chains of the enslavement that we've been suffering for so long unconsciously.
I'm just like, wow, I have no words. I just don't know what to say. It's like, oh my gosh. I mean,
I'm going to quote your book, if I may, on this. You wrote so beautifully in your book. You said, how fascinating is all this? How beautiful is the diversity composing who we are? So you were saying, I am a soul from Pleiades, my home, incarnated into a body, regrouping the combined genetics of a rich Terran heritage, intertwined with alien blood from one of the oldest and most magical species in this galaxy, the Eggaroth. The wholeness of this heritage makes me look at Orion with the compass in my blood and at the Pleiades with a compass in my heart. I just thought it's just so fitting. We indeed are multi-galactic star seeds, and we know either through the heart or through the soul.
Wow. wow. I just went, did I write that?
Mhm.
God,
It's very
we
beautiful.
we know within, we know who we are, we know where we come from. We just need to remember. And I mean, that's what you do.
Yes.
Oh my God, Julia. I mean, now
Mm.
everyone can witness live. I mean, well, when this video is aired, like what you're doing. That's absolutely. Oh my God.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been long coming, many years of long nights just looking at it, and it came just so magically. I'm really, really blessed. Mm.
You're going to have so many people contacting you. Brace yourself. But that's your mission.
Yeah.
So yeah, you found out also for yourself. So you probably are one of these portals. Could you tell us a little bit of your connections if you want to share them?
Sure. Yeah. We have almost all, we have very, very similar connections. I feel you as my soul sister, or as I know you certainly from our galactic missions. So I would have the most recent and most strongest identity is Pleiadian. And before that, I have a very, very strong connection and ancient history with Andromedan, and the Antares, Aldebaran, and many, many missions in the Orion constellation. So these would be my strongest. Yeah, just like you.
Wow. Wow, I'm
Yeah.
speechless.
So
So
in my QHHP sessions, before I knew that, I would have had these connections. I would have these beings coming through, and then there's always this doubting Thomas. Could I really be that connected? And then when I saw it, finally, I relaxed into it, and it's just you find this peace that is with you, and it doesn't leave. It's just always there. Once you know for sure.
certainty.
So it's wonderful. Mhm.
Alex Collier told me something that a few words that really resonate with me. It's what you know, you know.
Yeah.
It's very simple, but that's so powerful and so true.
Mm.
What you know, you know.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
so people come and see you, but you have previously studied their galactic theme.
Yes. So now since I know what I know, I look at people's astrology before they come and see me, so I can assist them better, much better, to guide them or to navigate them, to actually find the answers from within. And it's something I teach in my online courses. I find it so important to use the intuitive guidance, because one of the things that I've discovered that I'm so grateful for is that even if you have no clue about astrology, the map is inside you. So you are always guided. If you just follow that guidance and follow what feels right, what feels true, you will follow the destiny, and the path that was kind of designed for you. And I just want to say that it doesn't mean that we're here like puppets and everything is pre-planned, predestined. It's not like that. You have certain, there is a design of your path, that is very complex, but you can either reach its highest potential or in between, or kind of detour, and like the free will is always there. It's either takes you longer, or you either struggle through it, or you go with the flow, without resistance. So that's your choice, whether you follow the truth and then it's easier, or you resist it and you try to figure it out and be smart, but your higher self know better, so just follow that.
Wow, wow. So you study the theme of a person, and this person, yeah, then you don't tell them until after the session. That's it. Yes. So, oh my gosh. So then
Yeah,
they
because I don't want to influence them. Yeah, because I don't want to influence them. Yeah.
that's it. And then they have they complete the session, and then you show them like, look, and they
It's
go
right
like,
there.
wow.
Yeah, yeah, that's what
Oh my
happened.
gosh. Oh my gosh. And you do also I had a look on your website. You do soul realignment also during your quantum hypnosis
Yes,
sessions?
yes, because you know, since I started my YouTube channel, I had many people contacting me from all over the world who couldn't really travel to see me. So I was eager to assist them. So I learned how to access their soul records for them. And I started doing that as a modality. So I go into deep meditative state, I write pages of notes and then share with them. And I always try to do it in the most practical way so that they can actually apply the information that comes from the higher self in their everyday life and actually, you know, align with their soul mission. And then I would always double check the astrology to make sure that I'm not misleading them, you know, so it always resonates deeply.
How amazing. How amazing. That's true science. Science has been split in so many categories, but that's to just suffocate it.
Mm.
Science, the real knowledge, I would say knowledge, it's a whole of all the disciplines together. And you're aligning a lot of them, I have to say. And also you work with your husband, who is a Reiki master, isn't it? So
Reiki healer.
Reiki healer. So, I mean, that's amazing.
Mm.
I see also, is there anything else you want to, before I ask you another question, you want to add about galactic astrology or what's happening
Yes, so
during?
just with regards to the course, the online course
Yes.
that I've designed, you know, if people cannot or don't want to wait 3 months for my reading, they can go and access the course. And with that course, they'll have access to free website that will automatically calculate all their star alignments, show them exactly trine, square, sextile, or all these things. So they will not be able to, they will be able to check not just for themselves, but also look at their family members, their friends, you know, and the more charts you see, the more you get how, you know, how amazing the information is. So I definitely recommend the online course, because then you have access to so much more and you know how to do it yourself. But it takes time, but it's exciting. The feedback so far from few hundreds of people that took the course, they just all love it, including astrologers. So I'm very excited about that. Yeah.
Wow, wow, amazing. And I saw you do metaphysical, I read my notes,
Metaphysical.
metaphysical anatomy healing.
Yes.
What's about that? I'm curious.
Yes, so this is a modality taught by Yvette Rose. I have, you know, people have so many physical issues, and this modality it's basically a very effective way of dissolving trauma from the body by understanding the message, and it works with ancestral energies a lot. It's just another modality that I felt was really important for me to have to offer a better service. It's very effective. It doesn't take as long as, you know, 4-hour QHHD session. We just focus on one issue that a person has. And because I understand how trauma is stored in the body, I can also help, you know, dissolve the trauma. So just another modality, because I'm double Gemini, so I need to have broad interest in things.
Wow, another string at your bow, we say. And you do also soul reading and healing. So what about that?
Yeah, yeah. So that's the soul realignment. So these are
Oh,
my
that's
three
it.
modalities. It's the QHHT for people who come kind of from the Dolores Cannon stream of consciousness. Then the soul realignment, people who are just really into Akashic records, and they're very curious about their past lives and blocks that are, you know, limiting them, and how to unblock them, what's their true path. And then there is another stream of people that are not into any of this. They're more maybe logical, analytical, more 3D, as I like to call them, just not aware of all this other world, and they feel much more comfortable with something like metaphysical anatomy healing. So I just like to facilitate all these people. And the result is always the same. They just reconnect with their essence more and feel much more lighter and stronger in following their path. So
wow, you are totally amazing, and you are a gift to these times and this planet.
thank you.
Yes, and
Likewise.
it's funny. I'm looking at you, and you really look like an Ahel from the Pleiades, from Hera, and
That's
the way you look, and that's totally absolutely fantastic. Wow.
thank you. That's a nice validation. I believe that that is my connection. Yeah.
Yeah, and you have it as well in this body's genes.
Mhm.
It's like so in
Yeah.
tune, but within and what you see.
Mm,
So
that's it.
absolutely amazing.
Um,
So I'm going to recommend your website. I'm going to put all the links that you people can see.
Thank you.
Quantum Healing Journey .ie for Ireland. And I going to ask you if there are other, before I ask you the last question, is there other things you want to promote, a workshop or whatever, or events?
Yeah, I'll do workshops next year. I've done several in the past, but now I really wanted to complete the online courses so that people can access things without waiting too long. Um, but just the last thing, some people don't really want to talk about their issues. They're more kind of closed off. And for them, the Reiki healing is a wonderful modality where the energy just gracefully starts releasing layers after layers. So if anyone feels like that, where they just don't want to overwhelm themselves, Reiki is beautifully gentle and graceful way of starting to getting lighter and lighter. And I just want to say that if you as a listener haven't got a chance to work on your healing and connecting with the inner child and accessing ancestral unresolved trauma energies in your body, you must do that sooner or later. It's so important, because it's almost like a blocks and blocks of heavy energy that you are hiding under, and your true essence cannot really come fully through until you release them by understanding them, by connecting with the compassion and gratitude for everything that was, becoming wiser, stronger, and then your beautiful essence can start shining through. And there's nothing like it. You'll never look back. So do work with someone who you resonate with, and ideally it should be a practitioner that you feel excited about connecting with. Yeah.
Wow, this is so mind blowing, and I got this message from Thorhan one day, and I keep on repeating it, and I've even written it today on my YouTube community. The future of humanity, of Earth, is to get on with each other and to federate in a peaceful world, in peace. But how do you, because the enemy, who is not from this earth, is working at divide and conquer and playing on dividing us. And if we stop that, we will win. And I always say, as I repeat what I hear from Thoran, it starts within. Make first peace within, heal all your traumas, heal all your wounds, and then make peace with yourself. And then you won't be in conflict anymore with yourself, and you will have no more conflict to project outwards, to treat them in relationship with others instead of treating them inside. That you stop doing that, and then you will be at peace with everyone. So it's exactly what you said. I mean, at a higher level.
Such a good and important point. I always like to share the example of person walking into a shop, a person who is not healed yet, who holds a lot of trauma, walks in the shop at a time when the shopkeeper is at her worst, and the shopkeeper will just kind of mirror the heavy, dense energy, maybe lack of respect. She will be really almost kind of mean. But the person who healed already will be divinely guided to go to the shop when the exact same shopkeeper will be at her best, and she will show this person completely different aspect of her being. So it's like that. Your whole paradigm will shift when you change, when you shift. So there's, I think it's the most important work we have to do here, all of us individually. So
it starts
yeah,
within.
just like that.
Yes, it starts within. Well, I mean, we're so grateful. I'm so grateful to know you. If I have known all of everything of you the day I met you, I would have hijacked you for the day and just tell everybody else to leave us alone. But we'll meet again. We live in the same country, so it's absolutely yay. Look forward to meet you again. And what the question I always ask to beautiful people I have the privilege to talk to. What are your words for humanity to help humanity in these times?
I can think of two things. So, all these star races connections are really important in helping us expand our consciousness and kind of reclaim the multi-galactic consciousness and beings that we really are. But I think it's very important to first do the inner child healing work, first do the ancestral unresolved traumas that dwell within our DNA, within our bones, heal that first, understand the ancestors and also their higher wisdom that is also in our DNA, and then start connecting with the star races and their unresolved traumas and their higher wisdom. Like, don't jump ahead and try to connect with these star beings when you still carry a lot of heavy density, because you could actually be an attraction point for heavy dense energies from star beings and then get hijacked, as you often point out. So don't jump steps. Do the inner child first, the ancestral healing work first, perhaps past lives healing work too, and then the stars. It was certainly the way for me. I got to this point after I did all the other steps. So that's one that I find really, really important. Do you want to add anything to that?
No, I just want to say I totally agree with that. 1000%. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this needs to be told and repeated. Yeah. Don't try connect if you don't have already connection. I mean, it starts within, or well, anyway, I can go on either.
So the one that kind of follows, the one that connects to this one is that first and foremost, we are Earth humans. And we must really celebrate that and embrace it and cherish it. It's so incredible. Like, it's the most amazing place to be right now at this time. So, be that first. And as Earth humans, we have the potential to anchor multi-galactic perspectives in support of our collective evolution, but we are here for the Earth collective. So not to forget that. Yeah.
Wonderful words and wonderful world. Thank you, Julia, for your wisdom, your knowledge, and just to have agreed to come here now and in these times and perform this amazing mission that you are performing. So as a galactic girl to another galactic girl, I say well done and thank you, and keep up the good work.
Likewise, thank you so much. Much love, sister.
Thank you, much love to you.